Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBA champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
So the main event, Anthony Joshua versus Carlos Takam, went 10 rounds. And it was a very, very good fight because Carlos Takam is as tough as nails. I mean, super, super tough. First round, not too much to really be looking into it, but I think Anthony Joshua won every single round. Round number 2, Carlos Takam lunged forward with his head and the top of his head hit Joshua clean on the nose. And I think Joshua had a broken nose from round number 2. But I think that, Joshua won every single round. He didn't really gas out too much. He got a little bit flat-footed toward the end. But I suppose his best round was number 4, where he dropped Carlos Takam in number 4. And he opened up a massive cut on the right-hand eye of Carlos Takam. And it was streaming blood, absolutely streaming it. And I think that was pretty much affecting Carlos Takam. He kept rubbing his face all the time. And then round number 7, he got cut open on the left eye as well. So, of course, the referee kept having to send him over to see the doctor to see what's going on there. Now, I think the fight should have been stopped earlier due to the blood. I mean, there was a hell of a lot of blood, seriously. But I think that Joshua may have got away with this one a little bit. In the sense of get away with it not going the distance, is what I mean. He wasn't ever going to lose it. I don't see Joshua in any kind of trouble. But the referee stepped in round number 10 when Joshua started opening up on Takam. I think the referee stepped in too early, but I think it was purely because I think maybe the referee was worried that Takam couldn't see because Joshua was hitting him flush. And obviously because he kept sending him back to the doctor all the time, it was a case of, you know what, I think enough's enough now. But I think Takam could have made it to the end of round number 12. I'm not too sure if maybe he would have survived that round or not because he was getting hit pretty clean. But he was never really wobbled, I don't think. And obviously Takam is protesting about it and I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. But it was a very, very good fight. Takam came to fight. It was difficult for Joshua because he was preparing for Pulev, who's a bit taller and fights behind the jab. Carlos Takam likes to come in and fight low, if you like, and he kept hitting Joshua in the body, which I think slowed Joshua down a little bit. But Josh was never really in any kind of problems, no issues really. I think I was a little bit nervous for him when he got that headbutt on the nose in round number 2, but you know, I think he was more frustrated than anything else, and the fact that obviously if his nose was broken then he can't see out of his eyes properly because obviously they're watering. But Joshua, I mean, he adapted well to Takam, and Takam was never going to win this fight. I know a lot of his haters will probably say Takam may have caught him, but he was never going to catch him, not at all. He didn't have the zip in his punches. I mean, he did hurt Joshua a couple of times. He hit him pretty flush, and Joshua needs to lose a little bit of weight, that's for sure. He was starting to get a little bit flat-footed, but of course it's he got up toward the end of round number 10, so you know, that's pretty deep waters, especially for Joshua, as he's only been there once, and that was against Klitschko, the last fight. But decent win for Joshua, and I'm glad that he won. And when he fights the likes of maybe Parker, he might find it a little bit more difficult because Parker is of a similar fighting style, if you like, of Takam, although Parker does come forward. Takam always comes forward, but in this fight he was on the back foot quite a bit, but will come forward at times in bursts. So I think that, especially if he fights Deontay Wilder, then Deontay Wilder is obviously taller and easier to hit. So I think that he would take out Wilder without any real issues, and that's being perfectly honest. That's not hating on Wilder, but I do think he would take out Wilder without any real problems. I do feel bad for Takam that he wasn't allowed to carry on, but it is what it is, and Joshua was going to win the fight on points anyway, so why not save him from 2 more rounds of beatings? So anyway, Anthony Joshua wins. He retains his IBF, Super WBA and IBO world titles, and what happens next? He'll be probably fighting for his WBA mandatory, which by the looks of it could well be Luis Ortiz, as Luis Ortiz is still ranked. He's back in the rankings when the WBA released their new rankings today. and he's still the mandatory. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. So congratulations to AJ, Anthony Joshua. That's 20 out of 20 now, and that will go down as a knockout win, even though technically it wasn't. So congratulations, I'm proud of you, AJ. Onwards and onwards if you like, and see what happens next.